Sorry about that. We'll get this thing started. My name's Steve Grumbine. I'm the founder of Real Progressives. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to take a bit of a break away from economics for tonight. I think it's very important. It's been a long time that we've been doing this. And a lot of people are doing this too, but to take a principled stand and to not go along to get along with what everybody else is saying is extremely taxing. I mean, no pun intended. It's extremely draining of your whole person. Everything inside you wants to just wither away. It's hard to sleep at night when you mean what you're doing. You're not just doing something for clicks and likes. When people destroy your character and say horrible things about you, it's like a knife wound in the temple. You know, when you see people running around in little cliques here to there and there to here, and it reminds you of high school, it's like PTSD all over again. You know, everything that you're seeing is just, there's nothing revolutionary about it. There's nothing inspiring about it. There's nothing that is uplifting about it. And when you watch this cult of personality thing, especially with the Dem Enters in particular, there is a clickiness about them. There is, you think political speech is sensitive when it comes to, you know, vulnerable communities. It's even worse dancing on the eggshells with these people that are the quote unquote Dem Enters that are trying to take over the party and all this other crap. And each little group has its own little buzzwords that you can't say, the little territories that they get very upset with if you cross into. Doesn't matter how much empirical data you have. Doesn't matter how deep and like diligent you are in your research. It doesn't matter how thoughtful and prepared you are to discuss a subject. If you violate their precious people, if you violate their sphere of clickiness, if you violate the speech code that goes along with that clickiness, there is hell to pay. And, you know, I used to sit there and bellyache about, you know, how I felt like the Greens were exclusionary. And I felt like, you know, various groups were exclusionary, how they had their own little language. And if you didn't speak it properly, you weren't going to be a part of the in crowd. Let me tell you, I'm watching people on my team and I'm watching people on the outside, and I'm comparing and contrasting with how people behave. And this is no joke. We're realizing that social media as a whole is just kind of like a giant hole in the head. There was an article that was just really phenomenal. And for those of you who remember, and the name, I'll remember it when it doesn't matter. But the guy who started Napster, you know, he was also president of Facebook for a while. He talked about how from a hacker's mindset that they try and make Facebook sticky so that it eats up as much of your available headspace as possible. And they also try to create conflict. They always try to create situations that bring about quote unquote discussion. But largely what you see is a tremendous amount of people that just like trolling. They have no value to society. They have no value in your life. They're not trying to change the world. They're not trying to do anything of value. Their existence is anathema to progress. Everything they do is about trying to destroy someone. You know, trolls be trolling. I've had people recently do videos about me. I've had people post shit about me. I've had all kinds of insanity posted about me. And if I cared just about what Facebook said, if I didn't understand the game, I would really be torn up badly, because the things that have been said have been utterly disgusting. You know, I have a son, special needs, and he's got sensory issues. You know, I have to brush him. I have to do all kinds of things to get him to eat properly, to eat things that you would think a child of his age would eat. I read to him. I try and talk to him, try and get him to watch the way my tongue moves and get him to converse with me. I spend an incredible amount of time when I'm not doing this, trying to make sure I'm a good dad, trying to make sure I'm a good spouse, trying to make sure I am a good worker at my day job, trying to make sure that I do responsible things around my home. This is it's a hobby of sorts, but it's also a passion, a calling, and there's a reason for it because we're trying to do something meaningful. We're trying to actually change the dialogue, and we're trying to change the way we see things. But within this political culture and within this medium, Facebook, I watch people cling to each other and just throw shit at people when they don't understand what they're talking about. Now, you all know me. I don't suffer fools easily. I don't allow people to say stupid things without a rebuke. Maybe it's a fault of mine, probably is. But it's largely because I don't want other people being misled by their comments. And if I watch the way this goes, I could get very discouraged very fast. Extremely discouraged very fast. Because you have to wonder, if I tell you that I'm fighting for a New Deal, if I tell you that I'm fighting to make it so that we can have health care for all, if I tell you that I'm fighting to make sure that our kids aren't strapped with student debt, if I tell you I'm fighting for renewables and green energy and a green sustainable planet, if I tell you that I'm working in my mind and my heart and my team to bring about infrastructure bill, and if I tell you that I'm working on equality and I'm working on ending wars and I'm working on all these things, you would think that somebody would say, wait a minute, hold on, let's hear what he has got to say. But our movement is so steeped. It's just as bad as the Democrats. It's just as bad as the Hillbots. It's just as bad as any of them. Because when it can't understand something, it immediately attacks. It immediately attacks. And it tears everyone down. It literally tears everyone down. Now, I'm telling you right now, I support a coalition outside the duopoly. That thing has got a long way to go before it's going to get all the things it needs done. Let's be fair. They're building. It's building. Who knows where it'll go? You hope it'll do something because we can't stay stuck in this duopoly. But what do you get? You get the Dementors saying, you guys have checked out. You're not doing anything. It's always a cut down. It's never anything successful. It's never about what we're trying to do. It's just, hey, you need to dem enter. And do what? Hey, you need to dem exit. And do what? Hey, you need to go green. And do what? Party loyalty, these party apparatuses, these cliques, these little groups of people, this stuff doesn't do it for me. Now, if those cliques and those groups of people come together based in discernible truth, then they've got something, right? But if they're just saying, I don't like the duopoly, come over here and hang out with me, that's just another clique to me unless there's something more substantive there. It's just another clique. And cliques are not, in my opinion, inclusive. Cliques are definitely not about building people up. They're about excluding people. And it's about you're either with us or you're against us. And as we're looking at this stuff, folks, I'm not going to mention the name. It doesn't matter. It could be anybody. But there is one celebrity out there whose dad is a politician, a very famous, very popular politician. And I watch all the people go on his threads. And I'm not joking. It's like ridiculously dripping with sap, fanboy nothingness. And these people stay in this chat all day long. You stay in this thread all day long. And you're looking at it and you're saying, that's the movement. That's the movement. And you look and you come over and you say, wow, we're sitting here telling you how to do X, Y, and Z. But they're over there salivating on being able to communicate with some pop culture icon's son. Heartbreaking, right? Heartbreaking. This stuff is absolutely demoralizing to see. And yet, at the same time, though, you know that Facebook is not the real world. It's a snapshot of the real world, but it's not the real world. There's a lot of paid actors that come in here, the Brock organizations, all these other troll organizations that come here to sow discord and to create problems. It's not just the Brocks, though. There's people that don't get paid to do it and do it anyway because they've got a shitty life. But that is not what we're fighting for, right? That's not what we're fighting for. What we're fighting for is our future generations. I would like to see it happen now. But let's be fair. People are not united in anything meaningful. Dem enter is not a unification strategy to me. Dem exit on its own is not a unification strategy for me. Go green until they get their act together is not a strategy for me. Draft this, go that is not a strategy. I want to know what you stand for. I don't want to just join another clique. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not a herd animal. I don't follow the pack. I don't go with the sheep. I don't go wandering, back and forth. I don't do it. I can't do it. I'm physically unable to do it. Maybe I'm a loner. Maybe that's how I'm wired. Maybe I'm whatever. But I cannot just ride around with a bunch of people. I can't clap for them and bravo them when they just say something that's just not that big a deal. I can't act like it is no matter how much I try. I can't be fake. I don't know how to do it. It's probably a fatal flaw of mine. Maybe I'd get by much better if I could be a fake ass, but I can't. I cannot do it. So I think to myself, there are a lot of people out there that have trouble with fakes and frauds and friggin' suck-ups and kiss-ups and sycophants, you name it. That would be a nice click, but what are we clicking for? It's got to be more than we just don't want to be pretenders, right? There's got to be more to unifying than just I don't want to be a pretender. Yeah, I like Margaret, I'm with you. Exactly. Facebook breeds this childishness, but it's not just children. It's like elected officials, people running for office. I mean, they're acting like kids too, right? That's what this social media does to us. The alternative, though, is to turn the TV on, click it on, and just zone into the boob tube and listen to propaganda all night long. Not acceptable either. We need a truth movement, right? Not a friggin', hey, it's conspiracy, so let me chase this rabbit trail and call it truth. No, a real honest to God within the realm of what we can do and know and take action on kind of truth movement. It doesn't matter what team I play for. If I go play with the Dems, if I go play with the Greens, if I go play with this coalition or draft this or do that or progressive that, it doesn't matter if they're not fighting for real stuff, real things. I was watching trying to change, just so we're on the same page here, just working with different people to try and change the Green Party, trying to make change within the Green Party. And everybody's saying Dem exit, right? Dem exit, because you can't change the Democrats. You can't change them. Democrats are going to just corrupt. They're going to be the way they are. Have you tried to change the Green Party? Have you tried to? Have you even dabbled it? Have you talked to these other parties when you're sitting there talking real stuff? If you don't have a pack of 50,000 people behind you, 100,000 people behind you, 1 million people behind you, it's just like, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, I've got a real message here. Listen to me. Yeah. So when I look at Bernie Sanders trying to change the Democratic Party and people condemning him for trying to change that shithole, I think to myself, have you tried to change any of these other external shitholes? Have you seen the arrogance and the unwillingness to change, to even consider new ideas? They're just ready to tell you what they're about, and that's that. Here's a link, go away. So if we let this kind of stuff get in our craw, we're going to do nothing. We're going to just end up giving in and being done. This is what happens all the time. People get tired and they check out. They're done, man. They move on. They go back to watching sports. They go back to watching the Kardashians or whatever. Because they realize that 5 steps ahead is going to be countered with 7 steps backwards, because trolls, clicks, arrogance, ego, it all clips your legs out from under you. It all detracts from your message. And no matter how hard you work, you put in 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day trying to do this stuff, these trolls will take their 5 minutes and come out there and try and derail you. And then what do you have? Then you've got don't block them. It's censorship. Don't censor them. Try to reason with them. But they're not coming to be reasoned with. They're coming to destroy your momentum. They're coming to destroy what you're trying to do. They're not actually coming to learn. They're not even coming to have a civil discourse. He's full of shit. The Federal Reserve's owned by the friggin' lizard people. What do you do with that? What do you even do with that? And then you ban them, and then you've created 1 million little worm-like enemies, right? You deal with them, and everybody else goes, Jesus Christ, get this guy out of here. You ban him, you deal with trolls forever. So what do you do with that? I mean, seriously, what do you do with that? Oh, he's angry. All he does is belittle people. He just yells at people. No. For those people that are actually here to learn, that really care about learning, folks, we bend over backwards. We spend countless hours that you don't see in the live stream talking to individuals, helping them, giving them resources. Now, I will tell you, I've been guilty of watching the comments too often in the past instead of staying on my message, because I want to interact with people. But invariably, some person comes in to try to destroy it. They come in and try to deflect or cast shade or just mess up all the hard work of people that really care and want to do well. And the way social media works is just like high school. It's just the same thing as high school. It's worse. It's like middle school. Somebody says, I don't like him. He has whatever. I don't like his hair. Next minute, you got somebody saying, rumor has it he's a misogynist. Rumor has it he might be a racist. Rumor has it he might be a classist. Rumor has it. And then others. I know, I heard it on good faith. My friend so-and-so said that he absolutely did X, Y, and Z. And the next minute, you know how easy it would be just to say fuck it all and just not do it anymore? I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about others that really care about this too. They see this stuff and they're like, why am I bothering with this? I've got better things to do. And honest to God, most people really do have better things to do than just troll around. So we don't get any traction with the mainstream media. We barely get any traction with the so-called alternative media, that layer. There's like a little inner clique of that too, by the way. Never mind the fact that nonstop all day long we have PhDs on our team and around us that are working our asses off. Working our asses off for real meaningful stuff. Not just, hey, how many cool statements can we make in 26 words? Can we make some really cool memes? But it doesn't matter. They're content with nothing happening, with nothing changing. They're content with regurgitating nonsense heard at the water cooler. And it's defeating. It is demoralizing. And then you go into the activist community. Let me tell you something. Unless you're dealing with a Soros-bought action, unless you're dealing with some major corporation that has a way of organizing things, trying to get grassroots people to actually focus and deliver and work through things, break out the computer and document things, plan things, organize things, etc. We're always going to be bumping into walls, tripping over each other's shoes, getting nowhere, spinning in circles. Because those other folks over there are enemies. They don't fuck around. They don't fuck around at all. They're in there typing away, building presentations, building frigging structures, building process flows, building the way shit gets done. And the left can't stand it. Oh my God, it's too organized. What is crazy? It's a stat, whatever. Oh, that's boring. Oh, I don't understand. Oh, I can't get on board. I can't figure it out. What do you mean? The reality is, guys, our enemy is freaking organized. They use software. They use money. They actually bring in money. Do you know that the Koch brothers, their little enterprises, their little think tanks and stuff like that, those people have over 100 million, it's a huge amount of money that they use to just distract and destroy. But our little movement will sit there and nickel and dime each other to death, bitching and trying to kick each other down for fear somebody might get 2 inches above the pig slop. And we can't have that because we forget that the real enemy is very, very well funded, very, very, very fucking organized, and very committed to their way of life. We don't appear to be. We appear to be welcoming whining. We're okay with whining. We're okay with bitching about somebody's style. Oh, it hurt my feelings. The people who's hurting your feelings are trying to make change happen, and they're tired of watching people spin in circles. The stuff that is at stake that we're supposed to be fighting for, you, me, this whole movement, this whole thing is going against entrenched, organized, well-funded enemies. Well-funded enemies. Do you understand what I'm saying? These people have money to friggin' produce feature motion pictures. They can fund anything they want. They've got money on loan from God. And we sit there and bicker like little freaking losers on Facebook trying to cut other activists down at the knees. It's worthless. You're never going to see any change. I'm never going to see any change. As long as those people, those little cliquey people, those little, hey man, we're part of the gang and we're going to destroy this and we're going to go after that. As long as that exists, we're getting nowhere. As long as people are just saying, no, come over here and join my party, but they're not telling you what that party represents. As long as they're selling you empty promises, as long as they're just happy to be a part of the clique, we all are going to lose, period. And that's no joke. It is brutal to know what we are up against. The Pete Peterson Foundation is actively selling austerity as a progressive solution to our country's problems. You're calling the debt immoral and horrible. Oh my God. They got money out the wazoo and they are spreading propaganda like you would not believe. These groups have got so much money, so many resources, and so many committed, organized people that are willing to do battle the right way with a keyboard, with their technology, using their minds and not sitting there trolling and dicking around with people. Not posting stupid shit about Cheeto Leaning. Not running around, dicking around when the environment's going to hell in a handbasket. When we have no fucking medical care to speak of at all in this country. You know, I pay by myself, for me alone, I pay $610 a month for my affordable care. And I get $100 deductible to go with it. $100 copay to go with it every visit. What a bargain, right? Student loans, $127,000 worth of student loans that Nelnet is coming banging on the door. Where's our payment? This is no joke. These are real issues, not, oh, I love this politician so much. Tell me why your eyes sparkle so. I kid you not. I kid you not. Our movement has a couple choices. And it's not even a movement anymore. In my mind, it's people that are awake, really, really, really awake, and really mean to do some changing. And it doesn't take 1,000,000,000 trillion people. It only takes a small subsection of the population to get up and get out and make things happen. But it can't just be a bunch of screaming and yelling and acting a fool. It's got to be between the ears. It's got to be a cerebral revolution, because we don't have the firepower to do anything to anyone, and to think otherwise is just stupid. It's got to be here. And it can't be 50 years down the road. If it is, then we'll be dead and we won't be seeing any of this. Or maybe we'll be nearing the end of our life anyway, if we even have a planet inhabitable at that time. Or I should say habitable. I wonder if we, ever consider the cost of derailing serious people. I wonder if we ever consider the cost of trying to pull people as they try and get out of the cesspool. I wonder if we ever consider the cost of derailing the movement with our petty beefs about Bernie or Jill or any of the other fucking politicians. They woke us up, they gave us hope, they made us follow, whatever. Bernie was very clear in not me, us. So I don't care what people think about him one way or the other. I'm still going with not me, us. You see how that is? I don't give a fuck what Bernie does tomorrow morning. I care about not me, us. I'm not going to go into the Democratic Party, but at the same time, it doesn't matter, because it's not about party. It's about building up enough public pressure wherever you exist to change the Overton window, even if you got a fucking Republican in office. But right now, we're so disorganized and so unwilling to do the hard work of organizing and really, really doing the logistical, organizational, writing, documenting, going at it with our brains approach, that our enemy is going to kick our ass to heaven and back if we don't get our act together. So to quote Alec Baldwin and Glengarry Glen Ross, it's fuck or walk. It's fucking hit the bricks. That, my friends, is an unfortunate deal, but that's what gives me hope, because the alternative is to die. We got so many suicides in this country, so many unbelievable amounts of suicide. And it's not just in America. It's all over the world. This problem is not uniquely American, ironically, even though the new left wants to make it all about that. No. It's about neoliberalism. It's about global corporations controlling the resources, not just the money, the resources. Until we learn the game that our oppressors are playing, we will lose, because this bullshit of spinning in circles and talking about planting plants and friggin' living in communes and shit is not. It's not going to beat these guys. I'm telling you. They're organized and they got their act together and they're well funded and they're ready to go because they have the resources too. This is extremely important. When you've got a bunch of people together that actually are fighting for the same cause, not necessarily the same party, but that are fighting for the same cause, the parties have to change too. Do you see what I'm saying? Being in the party, caring about the party, whatever. I watch people sitting there making excuses for a Wall Street bankster named Murphy in New Jersey winning. And suddenly the left is so happy. Progressives are celebrating. Why? Because they forgot? This Democrat is a friggin' another one of the Wall Street jackals. They're already celebrating. Why? Because they got team spirit. Yes, they do. They got team spirit. How about you? How about you? You got team spirit? You know, woo, ah. I'm telling you, Noam Chomsky had it right. He said flat out, he goes, it matters who gets elected a little bit. But what really matters is the amount of public pressure they receive to go in a different direction. When the public rises up and makes demands and doesn't act like an easy lay going into the party and just taking whatever's shoved down your throat, there's no value in that. Nothing changes by just being a willing tool. It requires, you can be a part of any party. I'm not here to tell you one way or the other. I'm telling you, as a movement, we must change the narrative because they are well-financed, they are very organized, and they are not going away. They're not going away. So how does the left, how does the progressive movement counteract such an entrenched, organized, evil, financially set enemy? We've got to put our principles, we've got to put our time and energy, we've got to put our cash, and we've got to put our words and deeds to match one another and make organizational things happen. Just being scattered and being part of the team is not enough. It's not enough. I swear on my life, it's not enough. If it was enough, we would have already won because plenty of people are just spinning in circles, twirly birding around, getting nowhere. But they're part of a crowd, so I guess they feel like they're getting somewhere, right? They're part of the gang. They showed up to the local party meeting. I'm telling you right now, the parties, their leadership tells you what to think. And you have a choice of going along to get along, and then they will convince you that if you don't go along with what they're saying, you're just wasting your time. We're here to tell you how it is. This is the way it has to be. Come along. You watch Bernie trying to change the Democrats, as I said earlier, and people are throwing rocks at him. Oh, you can't change the corrupt Democratic Party. I've tried to take on external parties, trust me. I've got plenty of PhDs backing me up. I've got tons of other people that have done empirical research, written countless white papers, know what the hell they are talking about. And instead I get tales from the fire pit, tales from the bar stool thrown at me. That's the level of organizing that you're seeing on the left. That's not going to get it done, friends. It's not. If you want to see the change that I think every one of us wants to see, you've got to be willing to do the dirty work, the boring work, the paying attention and learning work, the actual using your skills that you have at your day job for your activist job at night, as in documenting, as in administration, as in pushing emails out the door, as in writing letters, as in writing policy positions, as in writing plans and organizing marches, organizing not just marches, but real direct sustained actions. Building neural networks throughout the country and around the globe where we communicate and we stay on task and we have these nervous centers that we're actually leveraging. Because our enemy is far more organized and far more committed, apparently, to destruction than we are to progress. And until that changes, we're going to lose. It's up to you and I to stay strong, stay committed, and revisit how we look at our efforts in this movement. Not every activist has to be running around the street with a fucking mask around their face. That doesn't have to be the way it is. You don't have to wear, the old freaking anonymous mask to be an activist. Sometimes an activist gets on a conference call with their computer out and they pay attention to the call and they take notes. Sometimes it's as simple as just being a goddamn note taker. Sometimes it's as simple as filling in a spreadsheet for a risks, actions, issues, and decision log. Sometimes it's putting together a project charter to make sure you can build whatever it is you need to build to execute so that you can compete and fight against these organized enemies. Or you can sit here and troll and you can talk shit about people and you can make stupid videos about them. And you can discuss whether the word finance or fund is different, even though in the thesaurus, they're one and the fucking same. I'm here to tell you, I need your help. We need each other's help, but real progressives need your help as well. I'm not going along to get along. I don't care if I'm an army of one, and thank God I'm not. We need your help. We need your help with support, both financially and support with action. We need help with administration. We need help organizing and planning. We need help staying focused and doing the things that need to be done. We need help with web development. We need help with video editing. We need help with YouTube curating. Hell, I'd love to get out of Facebook and go straight to YouTube and do nothing. But we've got 120,000 over here, and we've got about 4,000 over there. We need help. We need help getting people over to YouTube. We need help getting people to Twitter. We need help so that we can plan events, so we can do direct actions, so we can actually take the promise that we believe we have to do and freaking make it happen. We need legal help. We need people that understand nonprofit, profit, and the interplay. We need people that understand various aspects of law. We need people that can guide. We need people that can help in the background. We need live share. We need people that are knowledge area experts. Environmental and ecological justice, we need experts there. We need experts on election integrity. We need experts on health and nutrition. We need experts on technology and innovation and the ethical use thereof for the future. We need people that are dedicated to a peace-filled world. That includes our police departments and it includes our military. We need people that are focused and willing to be focused and not get scattered and do a million things because they get bored easy. We need people that are willing to do the dirty work. It's not just real progressives. It's the whole damn movement. But for the area that I have any control over, I'm speaking as the founder of Real Progressives. We need your help. We don't just need people hanging around. We don't need people hanging around in a chat. We need people raising their hand and saying, what can I do to help, Steve? What can I do to help, man? It really is in our hands. You know that saying? It's in our hands. It's in our hands. What's in our hands? The hope comes from the doing. It's impossible to have good self-esteem if you're not doing esteemable things. We need help. We desperately need project management help. We desperately need people that have the ability to use technology. We need a whole array of things. We've got a lot of good things in the background. Got a lot of good things in the foreground. We got a lot of great knowledge. We've got experts, but it's not enough. And we want to get off of Facebook. We want to get away from Facebook. And we want to be able to do real meaningful shit all the time, not just when here and there like we've been able. We want to be able to do it all the time. We want to really change. We want to challenge the Koch brothers. We want to challenge the Peterson Foundation. We want to challenge the narratives that are lies about all the subjects that we always talk about, from economics to the environment, equality, you name it. But you can't just do that sitting here playing games on Facebook while troll after troll after troll wastes their little bit of energy they have trying to derail you. We need to get the hell away from this bullshit and get out there and really make change. We need to be able to create media that challenges the fucking mainstream and not just goes along with these silly narratives. We have experts and we need to give them a platform so that we can get the world changed, so we can make progress. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes money, and it takes commitment. And we've got most of it. We don't have the help and we don't have the money, and we need your help. We desperately need it. I hope that some people step up and say, I'm ready for some work. I want to get something done. I want to be a part of this. We've got a lot of people, a lot of really good people, but we always need more, and we need more skill positions. We need people that can help with graphics. We need people that can help booking and scheduling guests. We need people that can help us expand to other social media platforms to get away from Trollville and get past the Facebook algorithms that are stifling us. Twitter stifles you. All of this bullshit stifles you. The only way to get past these freemium services is to go premium, which means we need help. We're all just regular family people. But at Real Progressives, let me tell you, we've got experts here, real bona fide experts, but they can't do the stuff out of thin air. We need your support. We need your support. We want to be able to bring a new deal to our children. I want to be alive for it. I don't want it to take 50 years. I don't want it to take 20 years. I don't want it to take 10 years or 5 years. I want it now. But we're further and further away from that as we watch people fade away because all they do is get swept up in nonsense. Again, the latest craze, celebrating a Wall Street guy winning in New Jersey. That's all you need to know to realize that if we don't take action now, we're going to go right back to sleep. So please message our page. Message us. Give us your information. There's a sign-up link. Please let us know. that you're willing to help. Our Patreon link for monthly donations, we'll put that in here as well. If you can help out with that, small amounts, large amounts, whatever amounts, anything is forward progress. But I am absolutely tired of just dealing with nonsense trolls. I want to push that shit down and go after the people that are fucking with our families. The real ones, not these friggin' ankle biters that are just here to disrupt. I mean the real ones. I'm pleading with you. I'm asking you for your help. I've done this 7 days a week for the last 2.5 years, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Been doing it out of my own blood, sweat, and tears, just like all of you in your own way. We all been doing it by our blood, sweat, and tears. But the game we're playing, the stakes have gotten a lot higher. The people we're fighting with, the people that we need to be fighting with, that the Democrats are not fighting with, that the Greens are not fighting with, it's these people are letting them get away with it. There is a constitutional convention right around the corner to do a balanced budget. That happens, we all done. This whole progressive thing, forget about it. It's over. Unless we can educate the demise of the U.S. based on the stupid balanced budgets and show what happened when Clinton did it, show what happened every time we've tried to reduce the deficit and show these things. If we can't get this information out to the mainstream, we can't even get Lee Camp to put this stuff on his show, unfortunately. We can't get Jimmy Dore to bring, we're talking about Stephanie Kelton even. We're trying to get those level people. Forget Steve Grumman. You don't want me? Fuck it. I don't care. Get the real people. Whatever. I don't care. This is so important that if we don't break down these narratives and we don't break down these bullshit walls, the fucking neoclassical walls that enslave us, folks, we are all going to lose straight up. There is literally no hope. So anyway, please sign up on the page. Please volunteer. If you have some desire to do activism, media, education, policy, you want to do live streaming, you have experience skills, you have some discernible history that shows that we can leverage that. We want to be up in our game, and we need your help. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives, and I really, really hope we can build an army. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.